Hi, it's Sara and welcome to the Sister Squad, and this is just a really quick podcast on the subject of colorism. So in the virtual world of Facebook, a dark-skinned sister called Monet Dollar put up a post. It was a PSA, public service announcement to light-skinned sisters, telling them basically not to pretend that they show empathy or sympathise with the oppressions of dark-skinned women. What was really interesting about the post was that a lot of the people that were offended on the post, including myself, was at her terminology and the fact that she seemed to be attacking lighter-skinned sisters. And as the conversation progressed, I shared it on my wall, and again I started to notice the same thing. The only people that were being offended were light-skinned sisters. Taking a step back, I kind of felt like it was like a privilege checking your privilege. And here in the UK, we probably don't see the colorism, shadism that we do possibly in America, in Brazil, in the West Indies. We don't necessarily see it in practice, but it is there in principle. So wonderful conversation and debate and discussions opened up about how women feel, especially dark-skinned women, about colorism and how light-skinned sisters feel. And one of the conclusions I came to was that as black women, we all experience oppression. However, we don't necessarily experience oppression in the same way. There are intersections in our communities, and there are diversities within our communities. And we, because of colonialism and enslavement, have picked up these ideologies, these belief systems. Some people don't care, some people do. Some people are like, when are we going to stop talking about this? Some people are like, it's really deep. But there are issues. I did a little bit of research today and I found out that 50% of black British men date outside their race. We might say, well, you know, if you grow up in Britain, it's going to happen eventually. However, when you consider that we are only a fraction of the greater population and half of that small fraction are dating outside of their race, what is that saying? When we look at footballers and celebrities here in the UK, some of them are not choosing dark-skinned women. They're not choosing black women, period. So there are some real issues. Now, on this post, the term light-skinned tears was used, and I actually thought it was quite funny because light-skinned women on the post were behaving like white women that say all races matter, all women matter, and it became like all shades matter. Yes, they do. Yes, they do. However, I do believe, after listening to all the conversations and comments and reading them and even doing research online, I really do think that we have to take stock and notice that colorism and shadism is a problem. We know where it comes from, but it is a problem in our communities, and I think until we are open enough to address it, get through all the junk, get through all the name calling, get through all the pain, get through all the issues and the schisms and the isms, we're not really going to achieve unity within the sisterhood, especially. I think it's problematic when people are shut down, when dark-skinned women are shut down and they're told that they've got issues of insecurity and self-hate and they don't love themselves, and light-skinned women are bullied and attacked because they're lighter and they're called high yellow or red-boned or fair-skinned, browning, or beige. All of these kind of terminologies and language feed into the shadism and colorism that we are experiencing. And I'd be surprised that none of us have internal prejudices or ideologies that aren't helpful, because we've grown up around this. Even within my own family, that is of many different shades. You know, we've got really light and we've got really dark in my family. And I have a cousin, let's just say her name is Tracy. Her name isn't Tracy, but let's just say her name is Tracy. And we grew up calling her Black Tracy. We didn't have a white Tracy in the family. There was nobody else to distinguish her from, but that's what we called her. And you know, even my dad, he fell out with one of his sisters who is a couple of shades, I'm talking like a fraction of shades darker than him, and she called him, and he would call her tar baby. I mean, you know, and we'd laugh. I'd laugh. My cousins would laugh. So yeah, my dad would call my auntie a tar baby, and she's just like a fraction or two darker. So, you know, in the West Indies, we did have that concept of, you know, don't marry anyone, anything too black isn't good, you know. And then we had the kind of revolution with, you know, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. It's like people had to come back with defense mechanisms to counteract the fact that we were being really horrible to our own. And that whole other thing, that sort of idolization of black men, my little chocolate drop, and, you know, white women saying that, you know, black men have black cocks and all of them kind of things, you know. So I do think it is an ingrained and deep-rooted problem. And there was a wonderful discussion on my Facebook wall, and all different people were participating in the conversation and talking about how, you know, it is a deep-rooted problem. You have black women saying that they're not going to try and explain to light-skinned women, you know, the challenges that they have faced, the fact that they've had to grow into loving their skin, the fact that there isn't a strong dark skin representation on TV, and other people saying, you know, why are we waiting for a racist white supremacy society to give us this platform and this space? How do we move on? I don't know. I think it is about listening to each other. I think it is about loving each other. I think it's about checking our own privileges, whatever they may be. Recognizing that sometimes, though the principle is there, the practice isn't there. We aren't discriminated from working in the bank because we're dark. We're not discriminated from you know, jobs and those kind of things because we're dark. However, yeah, there is a lot of this going on in America, in the Caribbean. We had the sisters being banned from districts because, you know, they were too dark and they were a bit plump and that kind of thing. It was nonsense. So I do think that, yeah, it exists. I don't think we should feed into it constantly. I think we should check our language, and I also think that we should respect how other people feel and the fact that they may have had some bullshit to deal with in their life, so they may be a bit sensitive. And I don't think light-skinned women should be apologise for being light, but at the same time I don't think that light-skinned women should jump on this dark-skin crusade and start being like dark-skin ambassadors, because I think that's a bit patronising and a bit condescending. You know, dark-skinned women are not unintelligent and need petting or platforms. They're sisters just like us. It's just the fact that they're a little bit dark. And ultimately, there's many different shades to black. We're all black at the end of the day. Our experiences in how we face oppression, that's the only difference. The real difference is we're all black women, and really we need to reject all forms of white supremacy and colonisation and European beauty standards, and we really need to begin to embrace our own and stop attacking each other. That's the main thing, you know. Stop with the name calling, stop attacking each other, and just really learn to love all our sisters, hair textures, shades, the whole shebang. And that's it, I'm out.